So it takes about approximately 6 months, really, even at the lowest levels, to do good terrain modification. And if you're already, like, let's take a choice of hands again. How many people here have been vegetarian for over 5 years, or vegan? Okay? And then how many people here are right now eating any type of flesh, whatever? No matter if it's fish, no matter if it's chicken, no matter if it's beef, pork. I just want to see how many people are doing that, okay? And remember, why would you want to stop eating flesh? Because what lives inside you doesn't want you to stop. Does it? You smell? I stopped eating meat probably about 10 years ago. And it took me about 6 years just for me to get the saliva gone. I go ahead and smell Wood Ranch barbecue and I go, whoa, does that smell good? Start dripping spit. Okay? And if you have these sensations, it means you still have the tapeworms inside you. Even though you're denying feeding them, they're still there. So what we're going to show you is that you don't try to kill anything that lives inside you. If you do, I can tell you this as a recommendation, you're foolish. So a lot of the cleanses that I see, I don't recommend any killing at all anymore. And I used to be a killer before. I can tell you, as a parasitologist, toxicologist, if it moves, let me shoot it. Okay? It's a parasite. It's not supposed to go ahead and have the validity to have life. But since it is an energy form, have you ever met an energy life form on this planet that doesn't want to live? I don't care if it's a parasite, I don't care if it's a black widow, I don't care if it's a scorpion, or the rattlesnake that you saw me hold on TV or on Google. Everything wants to live. And not only that, what if you give the rattlesnake love? What if you give, have you ever seen this, there's an article that a guy in, I think it was Nicaragua, he found a 17-foot crocodile, a saltwater croc, and he took care of it, and it had it was basically going to die. It had a big bullet hole in it. You can look it up, just put in crocodile whisperer. And this is really cool to see that if you take care of even a reptilian, hyperdimensional crocodile that really doesn't want to have anything to do with a mammalian, you taste good, that's about it. Okay? How could this guy play with this animal? Love does override most of the things that you could call, even in your health. So I just bought a tape today, didn't I, Rob? And I always come here and I say, come on, ruin me a little bit more. Give me something else I don't really need to see, but I have to see. Okay? So I let him do everything in here is really, because I don't think he would carry anything that really is not, and it's a lot of different levels, but there's an enlightenment going on right here. And really, it's sort of big. So you really can't get too overcompensated to you know, say, oh, geez, I got to change my whole life. Yeah, so a little bit at a time. Okay, you take a shower every day. That's the #1 poison. Do you have a shower to chlorinate? And if you have the money, I would buy a whole house system. We have them for a couple $100 for your whole house at Earthshift. Usually in those, if you look them up on the internet, those are a couple grand to buy. So what I've done is I've got a lot of direct deals with a lot of people, and I'm not really liked by too many people sometimes, because what we're doing is trying to pass this idea down to you guys. Remember, I want you guys to be able to really, the reason why you're getting all these types of deals and different things we put together is because we really want to do it, this clinical study. The clinical study is what happens to you and I when we clean our acts up. I know what happens to you. I know what happens to everybody that does. Okay? We get faster, quicker, smarter, very quickly. How about if you just drink 8 to 12 glasses of hydrational liquids a day? Blue-green algae. I have 2 of these a day. These are magical. What kind of blue-green algae? I'd use the AFA. It took me a year just to be able to find the right blends, the right processing, and the right packaging to be able to, and since I couldn't, I had to go ahead and do most of the stuff. You know, what happens is that you find out that there's a lot of good products, but something's wrong with them. So we work with the manufacturers, we change this or we do this, or they help us do such and such. And what we've really found out is that unless somebody sort of organizes this new food supply for you, it's going to take a long time, like it did us, to be able to really sort through all the things. When you walk into the healthier food store, it's not a health food store. 90% of the things in that store, remember, still are not what you call healthy. They're still wrapped in petroleum-based packaging. Bisphenol A-free packaging is what we have here, all food grade. Most of the packaging is called Bis-A. You ever heard of that? If you look it up, you'll see bisphenol A is outlawed in Canada. Bisphenol A is a very, very super toxic plasticizer. They put it in all this stuff. This is polycarbonate. It's full of Bis-A. Vitamix. Send them an email maybe and tell them to make one without Bisset. So if you use, and I'm not begging, everyone's changing. We're all upgrading our systems. So once we find out that, and this is a magnetic blender here, I'll show you real quickly how to make one of these. This is I used to do a lot of patents before. That's how I made some nice little passive income on certain types of patents I put together. So now I don't do patents anymore because you just fight with everybody stealing and cheating and everything. So now what I do is I show people how to do things that I would have actually ran to the patent office to show someone how to make a magnetic blender. And what is a magnetic blender? Sounds cool. It takes fats and waters or oils and vinegars and makes them turn into a compound one. So you have oils that are over here, which have a different density. They float. And you have water or vinegar. They don't mix, do they? You shake Bernstein's salad dressing up, what do you have to do? You have to pour it very quickly because immediately it wants to undo itself again. Not in here. So the configuration real quick, and I have a lot of this on the internet. We just did some videos on how you can go ahead and make this. These are very simple. It's a 10-minute video. We have all the magnets you can get it from us. They're like 50 cents a piece. If not, they're like, you can get them at Home Depot for a couple dollars a piece. But again, you might as well get the right ones. And what we do is, why don't you hold this for me here and you can see how this works. Actually, you hold this one. And hold it like this. So you can tell everybody what you feel. There's a power there, isn't there? It's invisible. You and I are playing games because no one else can feel this but you and I can. And it's strong. And if you try to put it straight on there right now, put it straight on. This is powerful. Okay? Now, what we're doing, do you breathe in and out? Remember, this is a holographic system. You want to weed out 90% of the BS you go ahead and see everybody trying to feed you? Then just know if it doesn't fit into the holographic physics system, if it doesn't mirror itself, then you know it's a lie. Okay? Do you breathe in and out? So if you really want to play with free energy, what do you think you do? You just holograph what the sun does, what we do, and what everything does. It breathes in and out. Doesn't it? Okay? The sun flips its poles every 11.2 years. It breathes in one way, it breathes out another way every 11.2 years. It's got a longer breath than ours, but it does breathe every 11.2 years. Now, the way this works, hold this up like that again. So this has a in-breath. You can see how it's fighting here. Actually, out-breath, and this is an in-breath. It's going to pull it. Okay? And you can see how that's strong. It wants to pull them all off. Yeah. Okay, and then so same thing. We're going to turn it around this way. So this is a out-breath, in-breath. Out-breath, feel that? In and out. And this is what happens to the material inside. Do you feel that weird feeling? It's pulling in, isn't it? And pulling out. Okay? And what you do is you, well, you just watch the 5-minute video and you can make it at your house. If you put these on your shower, you can put them on your fuel, you put it on your house, and what you're going to try to do is magnetize your water. Why would you want to magnetize your water? Why would you want to magnetize anything? You're pre-structuralizing it so your body can actually absorb it a little easier. Okay? Now, magnets don't work like this. What's working here? Nothing. And how do these actually grab energy anyways? Because remember, the reason I'm talking about this is because everybody in here is a magnet. You have a north-south brain. You have a left and right side. Okay? In-breath, out-breath, as I say, left and right, or positive and negative. You have one pole. I want you to hold this like this and you can feel this too. There's one. Okay? You can feel it's very strong, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, let's flip this around, both of them around. Okay? And now we have another pole here. We have north-north. This is south-south, equally as strong. And now you keep yours like that, and I'm going to turn mine around, and you can see here's the third energy we have. We have north-north that fights each other, south-south fights each other, and north-south that pull each other together. That's right. Okay? Now, when we show you over here, what's happening with the sun is because it's a big magnet. Oh, is it big? It's 860,000 miles wide, right? It's about 93 million miles from us. It takes 8 seconds for the sun to go ahead and actually send its light to the Earth. It takes about 1 second for the distance between the speed of light from here to the moon. It takes about 4.1 years to get to the next solar system in our little part of the galaxy. You have to travel 186,200 miles a second. Salud. For 4.1 years to be able to hit Alpha Centauri, which is the first star system. So you can see how everything is so spacious. It's all because of magnetics. So once we become healthy, our bodies become spacious inside. If not, what we do is we get corrupted and we get a ton of particles that find themselves and they lodge inside our lymph system. They lodge inside our brain. They lodge inside our glands. They plug up all different types of things that actually, just like in your car, brand new car outside, $10 gas filter. And if you put in the wrong fuel, it clogs up the filter and your car doesn't run, or it'll starve it and make it so it'll make everything overheat. And now it'll, just because of the filter, your engine blows up, so you go to the doctor and you got a heart problem, but you don't have a heart problem, you have this problem. That's just secondary. So when you really see this big problem, most of the problems we see are because we've denatured our bodies, we've lost all our minerals. Remember, we have only 3 minerals in the foods that you get at the store: N, P, and K. You know what those stand for?
Nitrogen, phosphorus,
potassium. 3 minerals. How many minerals are there in Himalayan salt? 80 plus minerals. So why would we want to eat food that only has 3 minerals in it? Do you really think, since your body really wants to be conductive and it needs this magnetic energy, and if you don't have minerals, then what happens? I'm going to show you. This is a very simple experiment, and I try to show this all the time because this hits home. This is a very simple unit we put together. This is dangerous because if I put my mouth on those 2 prongs, it will give me an electrocution because it's plugged right into the wall. And so if those 2 plugs, they touch together, then what happens is the light bulb goes on. I want to see the light bulb go on? Okay? Now, if you think that the water inside you, okay, is conductive, that means that you're probably thinking in the right direction, because if your water, your fluid inside loses its conductivity to electricity, then how would you think that your body, if you wanted to rebuild yourself, if anybody in here has what's called an incurable disease in here right now, you're wasting your time trying to help yourself unless you understand biomechanics of electricity and magnetism. That's all it is. Your body fixes itself. You couldn't fix it if you wanted to. Quit being arrogant, everybody. I'm a healer. Sure thing. The body fixes itself. Okay, all you have to do is give it what it needs, take away what it doesn't, and it will reorganize itself just as nature does, like a tornado, self-organizing. So I'm going to put this in. This is just regular water, borrowed some of Bill's water, and this is not tap water, but this is water that you buy at the store. What kind of water was that, Bill?
crystal.
Sparklets?
Yeah.
Okay, we got Sparklets water, which is dead as a doornail because this light bulb should be going on if it had any conductivity. So what makes you think if you drink this water that's dead as a doornail and you put it in your 18 gallons of salt water, which is a conductive magnet, you really think you're doing yourself a favor? You're losing your power by drinking dead water. So let's stop that perversion. Let's start drinking 8 to 12 glasses of electrical magnetic water a day. What would you think that would do to this body that's just a liquiditarian? It's a machine. It loves water. It doesn't really like food. You know what likes food? Is the creatures that live within the body. We're a hydrogen engine. Okay, at our highest peak fuel source, hydrogen is the most available element on this planet. Don't you think the system here, this machine, would be smart enough to uptake it?